Okay, so we welcome Reverend Professor Anefiok Akpabio, and he will be sharing with us on biblical principles of love, relationship, and marriage. Reverend Professor Anefiok Akpabio is an electrical engineer and member association of supervisory and executive engineers of London, AMSEE. He's also a professor of theology and biblical studies, fellow Association of Christian Theologians, FACTS, and fellow of College of Chaplaincy and Psychology, Nigeria, FCCP, and also the chairman of National Executive Council Association of Christian Theologians. Reverend Professor Anefiok Akpabio is the Provost of World Harvest Bible College and Seminary, Calabar, CRS, Nigeria, General Overseer of Kingdom Builders Ministry, President and Visionary of Ministerial Consultancy Network, and also a licensed marriage counselor and teacher on marital issues. Professor Akpabio is also the head of administration of World Organization of Ambassadors, African Chancery, WOA, and also an international and continental speaker in conference and seminars. He is also a member of Bible Research Institute, MBRI, theological scholar and book writer. He's a child of God and a minister of the gospel who is called to teach, preach, and take people to their God's designed destiny. We are also privileged at YYCI because he is our regular teacher, trainer, and mentor. And he's also the patron of YYCI, an advisory board member. So, allow me to welcome Professor Akpabio to share his wealth of wisdom and knowledge and many years of experience on this particular subject. You are welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. I'm grateful that the Lord have brought us again. And like the Queen has said, for 31 days now, we have been going on and on and on. And whatever had a beginning will have an end. But this is not going to be an end. It's going to be an end to more than the end that is coming. So you're welcome. And I want us to really open our hearts and see what the Lord will have to do for us. I look at this topic as very essential and important. And well, since it falls into one of the aspects of where is my specialty, I will really do what the Lord will help me to do so that we can actually enjoy the favor of the Lord and everything. I am having the mandate or the appointment of talking on biblical principles of love, relationship, and marriage. And by what we are talking about biblical principles, we are now looking at seeing beyond the normal, getting into what does the Bible have to say. Many a times we treat a lot of things the way the social talk, the way others say, the way the news media talk tell us. But what does the Bible say? What is the mind and the voice of God in this matter? I realize these three things, love, relationship, and marriage, is directly God's embedded life in the life of people. And so for that reason, it is only God who can explain it very well. And that is where we can find it in the Bible. So we look at biblical principles. When we begin to ask the question, what do we mean by the word biblical principles? We are looking beyond the normal issue of talking what we are saying. We are looking at the moral rule that Christians need to use in order that they can be what they should be.
This is a beautiful day that the Lord has made. We continue to rejoice and be glad in it, and there shall be no disruption. There shall be no disturbances today as we conclude our mindset for transforming relationship.
Love is of God. And so let's go on into our study. Now, what is love? So that we can look at God's principles for love. What is love? I have said in one of my books that when we look at love, some people look at it as a romantic feeling or a sexual drive towards another person. Is that God's principles? No. A romantic feeling or a sexual desire or drive towards another person. And some people naturally, generally, especially the young people we are talking to and we old people that are there, some people look at love as a romantic relationship that is maintained by sexual activity. I love you because we have sex together. I love you because we talk together. I love because I have some benefits. That is not love. And that you could say is more lust than loving. And some people look at it as a romantic way of expressing inner affection and passion for another person. A romantic way of at least the touching, the moving, the talking together. But if that is really love, then we have missed the concept of what it is. So the subject of love is so important that must be taken care of because there is a missing ingredient of a good and meaningful marriage. This is love. Love is a missing ingredient of a good and meaningful marriage. If we miss love, then we miss marriage. If we miss love, then we miss genuine relationship. If we miss love, then we meet God's stand for us. Because everything that God does in our life is all about love, love, and love. And so we can now say some words that when we look at the scripture beyond what people see, I could say that the power of love or what we are expressing now is coming to talk about the power of love, that deep, in-depth affection that can sustain whatever we do. We are going to give the real meaning of it, and then we go on. The true and the genuine love and loving is what we are going to look at. The true and genuine meaning of love and loving. We are going to consider the issue of the fundamental of love and relationship. What are those foundational things that we must do? Because it is when we don't have this that we make up. Young people have gone into infatuation and destroyed their relationship. Some people have gone into sex desire and then it stopped what's supposed not to be and make it. We are going to look at the aspect of the issue of the wrong thing about these erotic kinds of love. Until I'm excited, until we go to party, until we do one thing or the other, then we cannot make it. So that we can fully come to the true understanding of love. If I may want to say, I have given the meaning of love in this direction so that we can now use it to look at the principles of this love. I said, number one, that love is an intense feeling of affection and care to another person. Love is an intense feeling and affection and care to another person. I feel about you, I think about you, and then also I decide to care. Love does not only look for the benefit, love also sees the aspect of benefiting others. I say also that love is a feeling of endearment that makes two persons come very close friends. Endearment, that's is dear to me, and then we're dear to one another, and that brings closeness. That will not be what the word is talking about love, because love is actually different in their concept. So scriptural love definition is what I'm talking now. Number three, I say that love is a deep and abiding liking that produces strong inclination towards another person. When we understand love in that direction, and then we are going to join it with a principle, biblical principle. You see that we will not miss what we are missing today because of the wrong interpretation of what people talk about love. Do I continue to say that love is a profound and caring attraction to another person that manifests itself in deep caring, devotion, and dedication to another person? You see, if you love somebody and then the person is really in their heart, minus sex, minus what you need to gain. You see, all the time you'll be thinking about the person, you'll be desiring to know what is going on, how things are faring, how are you moving, what is it, bring in a lot of concern. And that is when we see that when you don't see that happen, if you're in the marital room, then you know that you have missed the concept. Going on, I said that love is a treasured affection for another person that loses one heart to that person. A treasured affection. You treasure within you. You make it happy. I don't see any reason why somebody can begin to stay, and when he stay, he begin to have bitterness against another one. And so when you do that, it's not a treasure thing. A treasure, when you have the treasured, what do I say here? A treasured affection. You'll be thinking good because already it is in your treasure. Somebody asked me, what's the joy in marriage that you can talk about? I said, the joy in marriage is that for 45 years now, we've been in marriage. We never quarrel, we never talk, we never fight, we never struggle. We are going into what is important, building people's life and building our relationship. 45 to 48 years now. So when you look at that, you realize that if you don't treasure your partner, if you don't treasure what you have, you will not see the value of that thing. So when love is out from the heart, is only from the hand, from the finger, and from the doing all kinds of rubbish, then you see that when the finger is cut off, it's gone. But when the love is a finger heart, then it can make well for you. So we are still looking at love so that I can say what we are going to do. Love is a strong affection to another person that assures interest and warm attractiveness. It assures interest. Are you interested with the person or interested in what he can do? There are some people who are interested in just the offers or the offering, or just what the person can do for me, and not what the relationship can do to ourselves. I say that love is an unselfish loyalty and benevolence, concern for the good of another person and his life welfare. Looking at love in this direction, I want to say that when we look at all this meaning, like the last one, that love is an inspiring admiration with warm emotion, affection, and friendship. Take note of that. That love is an inspiring admiration. You are inspired when you remember the person. That's even auto God. When you remember God, you are inspired with warm endeavor and affection towards it. When you begin to look at that, you see that the love that I'm mentioning now is different from the way the people of the world see love. The young people today see love. They just see it as a coming together for a mutual benefit, or coming together for a selfish benefit, not even mutual. Because there are sometimes, even in sex relationship, that sometimes they just get the joy of themselves, not even minding whether the other person is what it should be. So I conclude by saying that when we look at, and what I'm going to say today is that love is a winsome, precious, and sweet relationship. That's the way I want us to see now. That in reality, if we want to talk about love, so we may talk about the principles about love, that love is a winsome, precious, and sweet relationship that endears one to another person to the extent that he or she is dismayed, disarmed, and won for the other person. You see, if you love somebody, most of what you hear as big and strong, you will be disarmed. Genuine love disarm us from who we are and make us to flow with the other person that is there. A husband can be disarmed with the love that he has for the wife. Most of what he can boast and talk about, he will surrender because this person is also a human being and I love him. I am disarmed of hatred, disarmed of quarrel, disarmed of everything so that we can keep the love together. And true love, I would also say, is a willingness to surrender one's entire being to the other. When you come to that aspect, a willingness to surrender the entire being, what I can do because I have seen my husband, my wife, or somebody I love, I change. I told a young person some days ago that if there is nobody in this life you can be afraid of, then you are worse than a devil. If there is somebody you are annoyed, you are disturbed, you are worried, and you don't want to hear anybody, there's that person, when he just appears, you are surrendered, you are weakened, and you say, because of him, I will not do anything. If you don't have such a person, then you are worse than a devil. That's an aspect of what I'm talking about, love. A willingness to surrender one's entire being to the other, being ready always to share the innermost treasured possession with that person. That is the aspect of the love I want us to consider. How do we maintain such a love? And not only that alone, when we do that, we resolve to do anything at any time with any cause and for any comfortability to such a person. Have you come to that level where you can decide to do, I say again, anything at any time with any cause, just to keep the happiness going on? When that is done, we can see that we are stepping into what God will really talk about love. If I handle love, we will not go today. But let me come into where we are now. What is the biblical principles for love? 1 Corinthians chapter 13 speaks about these principles. It brings it to 15. And when we follow it carefully, then we can understand it better. When you want to know more about love, start from verse 1, 1 Corinthians 13, verses 1 to verse 8. You must differentiate love, or the Bible differentiates love and charity. It's a charity. What do we mean by charity? Practical loving, putting the love into practice, bringing the virtue of love to come up. And when that is done, you see the meaning of love is clear. Why does the Bible say, even if I give myself to be burnt and I have no charity, it doesn't profit me? How can somebody give himself to be burnt and then he doesn't have charity? He doesn't have love. Which means love is more practical, more real than the mere talking. That means that love has ingredients that sometimes is hidden and people don't really understand. And until we understand the magic of love, then we cannot see it well. He said, even if I speak in tongue, today we speak in tongue, today we do a lot of things, and yet the love is not there. I love you, dear. I love you, honey. When you hear the names you call one another, honey, sweetie, all that go word coming in, but yet you go into their life, practical lifestyle, they are bitter. Not even the honey again, they are even bitterness. Not even the sweetie again, it is pepper. And when those things are coming in, we see that the real meaning of love is not there. So what is the basic principles of love according to 1 Corinthians chapter 13? Number one, the scripture said there in verse 4, love suffered long. The principles, biblical principles of love is that love should have the readiness and the capacity to suffer long. That calls for endurance. That calls for long, there is suffering and there is long suffering. That calls for long suffering. My husband is doing this to me. I don't want it. I've told him this. He didn't want to hear. No, love suffered long. The principles of love is that you should be ready to suffer long. Make a gap. produce another room, like our former president said, in the other room, produce the other room issue, that you suffer long, have the ability to extend what it is. Love suffered long. You may not be appreciated at first. This is one of the facts I want us to note. In loving, you may not be appreciated at first. Your husband may not appreciate you. Your wife may not appreciate you. Your brother may not appreciate you, but they may take some time. So you need to suffer long until the studying is completed. Don't actually feel that when you just know somebody, the person have known you all. It takes a long time to understudy and know who a person is. Because as far as the four side of life is concerned, we call it the four windows of life. There is an area that people know about you and you don't know about yourself. There's an area that you know about yourself, but others don't know. There are some areas that people understand you very well. Even if you cover up, they know what you are doing. But there are some areas that it is only God alone that knows what you are talking. So when we look at that, you need to bring in the suffering long. This is one of the principles. He must suffer long. He did this to me. He did not do this to me. You bear it, because I know time can heal more. The next thing he said, love is kind. The principles of love is coming to kindness. The person you say you are loving, are you kind to that person? When I look at Ecclesiastes chapter 8, chapter 9, verse 9, the Bible said that we should celebrate, rejoice with the wife of their youth, and let him be that, let her be that, let her be that. You see, the kind aspect of life. There are some people who are very rude, even when they say they love. They don't calculate their words. They are very insultive. They don't even mind, even with their wife or their husband, even with somebody they have come to be with and they feel is a lover. Are you really showing the aspect of kindness? Because kindness befits and produces more of kindness. Many don't have an attitude of being kind to others. So the principles of love is that there must be an aspect of kindness. Be kind not only because that person is good for you and with you, but because you want to show that there is a nature in you that you get from God, that God is kind and he releases unto everybody, good or bad. The third thing he said there is that love envieth not. When we talk about envy, that bitter grief in the heart concerning what the other person is doing, we envy. We begin to say, why should it be him? Why should it not be? The principles of love is that we must throw away envy. We must decide to live a plain and clear life. Love vaunted not itself. Love is not proud. Love is not proud. Love is not a situation somebody begin to show up. He will see what I can do. If after if he does like that, this is how I'm going to do it. The principles of love is that there must be humility in loving. When there is humility in loving, when I look at the scripture, the Bible says Sarah was calling Abraham my Lord. And that's my superior. And that's the one that ruled over me. It took simplicity and just humility to accept somebody to come and lord over you when you are also a human being. So there must be the issue of not envying, not having anything in mind. You know, we allow certain bitterness to be in our heart when we say we are loving. And then sometimes we forget. Last time we talked about forgiving and forgetting and letting go and becoming what you should be. When you don't have the capacity to forgive and you are not ready to forgive, you see, you'll be envying, you'll be quarreling. You did this, you did this. If it doesn't give you what you want, you quote, you mark your debt. No, the principles of love are seen in that Corinthians is that he doesn't envy. He doesn't vaunt up himself. He's not puffed up. Love is humility. When you see lovers going together, this one can even do what the other person can do. The man can even take up the responsibility of the woman to do. It makes things simple, no proving or simplicity is greater more when love is there. So if you don't want to be, I'm the Lord of the house, the husband say, I am the head of the house, I'm the Lord, I am to decide. You will not get what you are looking for. Love does not vaunt itself. The scripture says it does not behave himself unseemly. I know there is a time that we tickle our vanities. We try to do what we should do. We make our wife or our husband or our friend to feel that after all, I am there. Sometimes we call it a little puffing up, a little bit of at least joking, and so a little bit of one thing. I tried, maybe you may not know that that person at that time, if it's not with the right frame of mind, he will take it the other way. So what we can do is to understand that real love, when we love one another, it will behave himself, didn't behave himself unseemly. It will be mature. When I look at love, I see love believes in maturity of action, maturity of words, maturity of deeds. And so when that is done, it tells us love seeketh not his own. Love is considerate. Therefore, the principles of love, biblical principles of love, is that you must be considerate. If it had been like this to me, if I have done this to him, when we consider one and see another in all the action, don't say, after all, I'm spiritual, I am like that. The biblical principles of love, according to what we are talking now, is that simplicity is what is good. He's not seeking his own, will not want the good of himself. A genuine love, scriptural, biblical, genuine love, even want to let go in order to draw the attention of others. And look at when we talk about in Bible interpretation, there's what we call the principles of first mention. The principles of first mention. If you check the word love, the first time love appeared in the Bible is Genesis chapter 22, where the Bible says, and God told Abraham, because you love me, bring out your son and sacrifice. And you can see, when you look at that, you can see the foundation of love is a building of relationship to bring somebody greater than what you was before. Love has a beginning. By the principles of first mention, God saw something in Adam or in Abraham and said, come and sacrifice your child to me. So love is sacrificial. Love has to do with sacrifice, a giving up of what you have to get what you have not. If our love has not gone to that area, that's why we are studying that the biblical principles of love must come to a point where we can just not seek our own, but allow it that others can be. Love is not easily provoked. Love is prone to provocation, or is not prone to provocation. He did me like this. He must see me. He must do that. No, that is not what we look at about love. We must come to a point of fully understanding that he said he behaves not seemly, he seeketh not his own, is not puffed up, is not easily provoked. Don't be annoyed at all time. You can break the house. I witnessed something in the news media yesterday. A woman, the husband did not give her what you want, broke everything in the house. It's been to replace or provoke. May I say to all of you that are hearing me, if you are easily provoked with the person you say you love, you have not started real love yet. If you are easily provoked with a person, a little statement made, you are annoyed. A little statement she made, you are unhappy. You quote that one, you talk that one, then you are out of real loving. So it's not easily provoked, and the scripture continues to tell us, he thinketh no evil. When a husband decides to poison the wife, when the wife decides to poison the husband, when a man decides to plan on wickedness on what to do, as we see day by day happening, when you begin to sit down, begin to think of certain things that is going to affect the person you say you love, then scripturally you are out of the way. It is only loving for interest. It's only self-made thing that you are only wanting to enjoy. He thinketh no evil. He rejoiced not in iniquity, but in truth, which means love stands on the grounds of truth. There is no wayo in truth. One day, people were saying that why they love Jesus, he never make me wayo. What do they say? Jesus now my best friend. I love to work out with him. He no get time to play me wayo. I like to work out with him. I look at that, so I call somebody. So if Jesus had done you wayo, you could have not worked with him. He laughed. We are looking at an aspect that we see that love rejoice not in iniquity, but he rejoiced in the truth. This is when we are looking. Is your love rejoicing in the truth about that person? Or it is only when that person has failed, hey, I told him he will come back to me. When you see that love, it is a worldly love. Because people in the world love others in order to get what they have and abandon them. Just use them and dump them. That's what the love of the world is. Use them and dump them. Get what you want and go. And we see also the other striking one is verse 8. He said, number one, that area, love beareth all things. Love beareth all things. Not only bear, love believeth all things. Love hopeth all things. Love endureth all things. I'm talking about biblical principles of love. If you cannot have a bearing love, love beareth all things, not bear some. I can't tolerate it again. He has come to the climax. I cannot do it again. Then you are not loving. But you know, if it is not scriptural, you will not be able to do. Because in the world, you can break at any time. After all, love is not by force. Somebody says so love is not by force. And if love is not by force, but when you come to Christianity, you see that though love is not by force, but it's a binding wire, a binding relationship that carry two persons and keep them together. So love beareth all things. Love believeth all things. What do you believe about your partner? Especially those of us who are in love, those of us who are married. What do you believe about your partner? Even when people outside will come and tell you a story, what do you believe about him or her? And then we talk about in the Christendom, what do we believe about ourselves? There are many of talking and confusing and destroying ourselves just because we feel that is love. So the principles of love, as far as the scripture is concerned, begin to believe all things, begin to hope all things. If he cannot do it today, tomorrow he will do it. And that's why man is a social being. You can't do it on your own. Somebody must be there around you. He believed all things, hoped all things, endured all things. And we hear one word, it says charity never fails. Love never fails. So if we look at love and you have a failing love, I tried the first person, he failed. I tried the second person, he failed. You were applying wrong principles. We must come into understanding truly what is the principle of sustaining love. When we talk about sustaining love scripturally, there are ingredients that we need to note and to do, and that will make things go the way it must go. I will keep about love and go to the next, which is the principles of love, relationship. Let me come to the issue of relationship. And I read some words here. Now, when we talk about relationship, biblical principles of relationship, I say here that relationship is a beautiful love making or living together. Relationship is that which compels a couple to open up their life to one another. So when we talk about the principles of relation or the scriptural principles of relationship, what are we looking at? Hello? Okay, what are we looking at? We are looking at that which compels two couples to open up their life to one another. And so, if we talk about it, how can somebody open up and show that we are in relationship? A picture of good relationship is when I remember First Samuel chapter 18. Love also, we say, relationship is a one flesh encounter that is essentially spiritual and divine, which helps to fulfill the joy of real sharing of the partner's physical bodies as well as their person. Relationship is not just friendship relationship. It's just Facebook relationship. It's not just I gave something because you want to relate. The next thing is only the fingering and the touching and the talking and the sex and the rest. It goes beyond that. Relationship is a one flesh encounter. Relationship is a compelling force that keeps the partners together. So if we talk about biblical principles of relationship, if you don't maintain relationship, you are off, you are done for. Because even while Jesus was in it, he said, I and my Father, we are one. And so if they are one, there must be a real understanding. Then we talk about relationship is the place where strength is centered. Relationship is the center of strength, marital strength, good strength, working strength, and everything. And if I could say, relationship demands a supernatural change in the person. So if this is relationship, what is biblical principles of relationship? That is seen in Matthew chapter 7, verse 12. What does the scripture say about relationship? There is a word I love, and the Bible tells us in that particular verse, what does the scripture say? It says here, therefore all things whatsoever ye would that men should do to you, do ye even so to them. For this is the law and the prophet. When we talk about biblical principles for relationship, is do to others what you want them to do for you. Love others the way you want them to love you. You cannot say you love somebody and you are hating the person. Jesus said it is summarized in the whole word. Do unto others as you would want them to do unto you. If you want to have a stable world and then you want people to love you, love people. If you love sincerity, be sincere to others. Do unto others what you want them to do for you. He said, this is the golden rule. And this is the thing that we don't see in the world. In the governmental circle, they want to ruin, they want to corrupt, they want to steal in order to keep themselves in the position. Is that what can make relationship go on? And when people cause trouble, they begin to make noise. Check your life. How do you consider somebody? What is your relationship with others? Is it a deceitful relationship? Do unto others as you want them to do unto you. Let's talk about church. How do you work with the people in the church? How do you move with them? I look at one day that David was saying, Jonathan, you are. And he said, is your heart right as my heart is with you? And the person said, he said, give me your hand. When you see somebody who agrees in what you are doing, he can share in your opinion. He can share in their vision. Do unto him what you want them to do unto you. The world is wicked. Humanity is so wicked. Somebody can do a good thing to you, and you see the same person turning to do the other way, turning to destroy, turning to make things not go. Let's talk about the case of Saul and David. David came all out to help Saul, but every opportunity, David would want to kill Saul. Or Saul would want to kill David. Every moment he want to kill. Even when he will confess, he confessed 2 times that he will not do him anything, but he was still continuing. Wickedness is at the back of humanity. Man naturally without the Spirit of God is wicked. The Bible says wicked from the roots. But what can make us do that? It is to look at the aspect of love, the flow of love that will bring same mind, same thought. Do unto others as you want them to do unto you. In this program, in this YYCI, in what we are doing, let us remember that the scriptural principles for relationship is do unto others as you would want them to do to you. If anything is good to be done, if you want good things to be given you, if you want prayers to be prayer, and they will never remember the fellowship. Young people, let me tell you. You just see a girl on your child at the tender age and she becomes nothing. Will you be happy? If there is that consciousness, if I could not do this to others, I will not, or other want them to do to me, I will not. You see, our world will be stable. I've got mental people who may be opportune to hear me. Do unto others and want them to do unto you. Why hurt things you should not hurt? Why implement what you know is not good? Why act in the way it should not be? Coming into the marital home, you are a husband. Why lay some certain rules that you cannot also do, and you want your family to do it? You will not be able to carry on the people that are on. It's a royal law. Jesus said the whole is contained in the law and the prophet. That's to say, in the Old Testament, in the 5 books of Moses, it is love one another. In the prophet, it is love one another. Jesus came to say, love one another as I have loved. So the whole center of the Bible is the issue of do unto others as you want others to do to you. If this is being taken care of, we realize that it will go a long way to help us. Let's stop the principles of the world, worldly principles of relationship. You can kill and get property. You can destroy and get what you want. You can turn around and change your mind and collect. There are some people that say, some law enforcement officer, if they see their brother on the way, they shift and run away, allow somebody to go and collect money so they share together. That's not the thing. We must do unto others as we would others to do to us. As you are in this program, are you supporting this program with your whole heart? That even where you are programmed, this is how you could have taken it. Do unto others as you want others to do to you. It is a scriptural principles of relationship. And anything outside that is nothing. Jesus had people who were not doing what they ought to do. Where did it end up? Talk about Judas. Talk about others. But if we decide to combine our hearts and our mind together, it will work. One thing when they come to the church, I look at Barnabas. He saw the problem they did in the church. And he could not know what to do. Rather, he decided to go sell the land and bring the money to the church so that the work can be done. And they called his name Barnabas. His name was not Barnabas. Barnabas means the son of consolation. I want to say in our love relationship, in our church where we attend, in the activities that we do unto others as you want them to do to you. If you are in an organization like this organization, do unto this organization as you want organization to do to you. Some people want to be here because of personal benefit, because of money, because of invitation, because of whatever they want, because of cheap personal interest. When we have that in our mind, we have missed the concept. We are here to affect life. We are here to help one another. So that relationship should continue. So if you are in this program, if you are in this platform, don't just begin to look for what you can gain. Do what you can do, your gain will come. One thing I know, whoever sponsors God's activity, God will sponsor him. Whoever block God's blessing or blessing upon others, God will also block. That is the issue of relationship. Do unto others as you will want them to do to you. Don't hate if you would not want to be hated. Don't steal if you won't want anybody to steal you. Don't corrupt others if you will not want others to corrupt you. Don't spoil children of people if you will not want your children also to be spoiled or corrupted. Let's act with consciousness. Let's allow our conscience to be lively. This thing I'm doing, will it help this person? Will it make him fine? That's what the Bible, the biblical principles of relationship is all about. Let's not think on what I can be satisfied with, even in sex, even in marriage. You see, the other one wants what will gratify him, what will satisfy him, not even knowing has that person also got the share of that responsibility or that duty or that enjoyment or that love. Let's do what we can do and see how we can help one another. Do you even remember that in God, when he talks about love, he said, thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all your heart, with all your mind, with all your thoughts, and with everything about you. So love is all about all. To love God is to love God. We are all. We are understanding, we are mind, and we are everything. And that is the biblical principle. Let's stop cracking about. We wound somebody and we stand to cover. We don't even mind whether we've wounded somebody. Somebody can praise on somebody's toe and the person cry. You say, I believe her now. Forget about it now. You are wicked. That is when love on relationship is not seen in the practical way that we should see. That is on relationship. I go to the aspect of biblical principles of marriage. Biblical principles of marriage. One day I had a seminar over here in Nigeria, and I picked the theme, beyond just coming together in marriage. Beyond just coming together. If you don't see the difference between coming together in marriage, just coming together, after all, we are husband and wife, declare, it's not all that the preacher will say, now I declare you husband and wife. It is the beginning of the story. What is the biblical principles of marriage? And how do we look into it? How do we make sure that marriage is what it ought to be? I want to say about marriage. Let me just say about five important things. Number one, is there actually anything in marriage that goes beyond just coming together? When we talk about marriage, do you see marriage any different from a man and a woman coming to live together? If you don't see things beyond that, you are not yet in marriage. You are in mirage. And in mirage, you can see as if the sea is there before you and it's also an empty thing. Many people who are in marriage don't even enjoy the thing that is in marriage. They feel it is just coming together, producing children, doing this. I tell a congregation when I was talking about marriage is not the issue of children. After all, goats have children. They can produce children from any area, and they have young ones. Fowls have children. They produce it anyway, not having one particular wife to me. Therefore, if you are a man or you are a woman, you can still have children. So marriage is not the issue of producing children. You can have it from somewhere. But it's something important. Is there something different about marriage more than coming together? Another question is, why should one really marry? Or what really is marriage all about? Why should you marry? For sweetness or for problem? Because when we look at the principle, biblical principle for marriage, we are going to see that we are committed to certain things that we must think about. Number three, what is the real beauty of marriage as God intended it to be? We who are married, what's the real beauty of marriage? What do you feel is the real thing? The coming together, the putting on of ring, let them kiss one another, or whatever, or the calling of that dear. It's not that. There's something beyond that, which biblical principles will actually now tell us what to do. And we can say, what can we really enjoy marriage in life, especially what human beings are today? Can we really enjoy life? I say, yes, we can do it. So when we look at all these things and begin to ask ourselves, can anything called man be faithful or woman be sincere? Can anything called man be faithful? Or can anything called woman be truthful? When we look at all this, we can see that marriage goes beyond what we are looking at. So what are the principles of marriage? I want to say to all of us, there's something you are which no other person are. And that is why marriage comes in. So if we want to develop what is in us, know it very well, number one, that there is something you are which no other person is and can become. And it is in marriage that can be blown up. You are unique on your own. I see the tomb here, that every other finger may be different, but this is your identity. This way they can know you. This way they can look anything about you. And the tomb is specific. And that is to say, you are not like any other person. You were not molded from the mold of others. For that reason, we must ask them, how do we take care of the issue of marriage? And I also say, there's something you have that no other person in this life has attempted to have. So when we come into marriage, we are to develop what we have in order to make it that it blesses another person. I feel as I'm sitting down and I'm speaking, I should be a blessing to as many that listen to my voice. Because I know there's something I carry you don't carry. There's something you carry I don't carry. There's something I know you don't know. And there's something you know I don't know. Then life can make up together. That's where marriage will now come in. I bring in my view, you bring in your view, and we flow together and make marriage what marriage should be. There is something good inside you if you allow somebody else to blow it up. So that's where marriage comes in. And that's where principles of marriage must come in now. There is something in you that you have. You may not know, but somebody can blow the beauty in you. You know, when the Bible says that when the iron is refined in the fire, it becomes smarter, shining than all that it is. And this is what my marriage can do. Therefore, never struggle for any challenge. Let me now come to the real biblical principles of marriage, because since this is my area of concern, I can take all the day talking and then we'll be listening. What we say is commitment. In Hebrews chapter 13, verse 4, the first biblical principles for marriage is Hebrews 13, verse 4. What does the Bible say? Marriage is honorable in all. Marriage is honorable in all, and the babe undefiled, which means marriage is honorable in all. What is the scripture telling us there? Well, I'm going to tell you us the detail of this biblical principle. Marriage is anything we do in marriage. It's not sinful, provided we do it to satisfy one another and help one another to be how they should be. They should be honored. Marriage is honorable. Another word is marriage have dignity. Marriage is not for children. Marriage is not a playful thing. Marriage has dignity that must be preserved. Marriage has weights that must be felt. Marriage is something that is real and is important. The marriage is honorable in all, and the babe undefiled. But warmongers and adulterers, God will judge. God is the chief judge of marriage. The way you deal with your wife, the way you deal with the husband, even if the judgment of the court may not make it, there is a heavenly judge who judges marriage. And so what we can do is looking at the situation. How do we make our marriage go? And here, if marriage is honorable, then one thing we need to do, we can follow the following gap. Give value to your marriage. Give value to your marriage, because marriage is honorable. And when you, that's biblical principle, give value to your marriage, value your marriage, take a secure your marriage, plan a good choice about your marriage, build a tower around your marriage, and bring good things. Value your marriage. Even if you are in a community or in a society that they can change husband and wife anytime, don't do that. Even when people are saying divorce, if it's not what you divorce, don't do that. It means you did not understand. Marriage is weighty. It has meaning. It has dignity. Therefore, we value marriage. Number two, be contented in and with your marriage. Be contented in and with your marriage. The Bible says, let your life be without covetousness. There are many marriages that are broken today because there is no contentment, no agreement of living. This man is not contented. The other woman is not contented. Therefore, anything another man promises her that is greater than what the husband has been doing, she give in. Anything another woman do to him, and then the wife has not been doing, they give in. Marriage is not like, be contented with your wife, be contented with your husband, be contented with your situation of financial situation. Be contented with all what you do. That brings the reality of what we are looking at about marriage. So make sure you are contented. The next thing about marriage, to make it the scriptural principle, is come to, he said, for he has said, I will never leave you nor forsake you. God is ever contented. God is ever ready to help. Therefore, the principles of marriage that can keep the marriage to God's faithfulness, who is able to subdue. Look up to her in everything from him. Look up to her in every issue in their marital life. If you want him to, may not provide you what you may need in marriage, but God can really do it because he's the initiator of marriage and he knows what to do. Another thing is, make your love a practical one in your marriage. This is biblical principles in marriage. Make your love a practical one. Make it that this person marries somebody. I am just that the woman is crying every day because of the wounds, because of the pains, because of the disappointment. You are a failure in marriage and you are not worth a man at all. When a woman allows the husband to be displayed in a lot of things, confused, discouraged about marriage, then he's not. That's where the scripture asks two questions. In Proverbs chapter 30, chapter 31, the Bible says, a virtuous woman who can find. And in Proverbs chapter 21, he said, a faithful man who can find. So, man, are you faithful? Woman, are you virtuous? These are the things you can look at when we see marriage going on. Make your love a practical one. And not only that, communicate well with your partner and avoid self-prompting. This theory of bluffing, I just wanted to bluff my husband. I just wanted to bluff my wife. I just wanted to side chick. I just want, leave those things because you don't know at that time whether the frame of reference of that man was there to tolerate. And if he may not be able to tolerate, what he will do is he cause fight. And what you were thinking to bluff, you see that it is off. When I look at the danger of bluffing in Songs of Solomon chapter 3, the man knocked on the door and the woman said, no, I have washed my leg, I am lying down, I cannot come down. And when the man left, he said, the Lord was troubling her. So she woke up and the security people of tell him, I'm sick of love. No, let us stop bluffing. Let us make marriage real. Marriage is for mature people. Marriage is a mature experience. Therefore, communicate well. When you are painful, do you hear that statement in Songs of Solomon? He said, let me hear your voice. Let me see your countenance. Communication can make things go very well. Share your heart. Share your life. Talk to your partner. He will be able to help and sustain you. Apart from a marriage counselor, there's no other person more closer and real to you to help you as your partner. And then I say, celebrate yourself. If you are really wanting the marriage to be what it should be, celebrate yourself. That is what we are hearing here about the issue of biblical principles in marriage. Do you hear what the Bible says in Songs of Solomon? If you're a man here, the Bible says, live joyfully with the wife of your youth. Live joyfully. That's your only portion on earth. A woman is the only portion that the man has in life. You know, children, when they grow up, they will forget about you. Your cloth, when you die, others will pick it up. It is only your wife that is going to be there for you and with you. And until you die, she might even be worried you are sick. She will be there, tarrying, crying, and doing all. Therefore, value that your wife. That's biblical principle. Value that your husband. is something for you. You may feel that it is not doing anything, but there is a protection, there is a coverage. You hear Songs of Solomon, he said, I sit under his shadow with great delight, and his love like me. This is biblical principles of marriage. That when we make marriage what marriage should be, then we can really enjoy the privilege of talking what we are talking. So, beloved ones, I am saying that when we talk about the principles of love, relationship, and marriage, it hangs on one thing. Allow the Bible to spell out what you are to do. Tradition is not the Bible. Laws and rule is not the Bible. What we normally do is not the Bible. It's not from my area. So because it's not from my area, he doesn't understand. There are some people who marry and they have not opened up themselves to the partner. You are wicked. Because one thing I know, there are sometimes the thing you have not told your wife or your husband, at the time you may not be able to speak. At the time you may not have strength to do anything. That's the time those information will be needed and it will be too late. Many people have lost their estates just because they were not opening up to one another. Many people have lost their priesthood because they did not want to open. So whether it is principles of love, principles of relationship, or principles of marriage, let the Bible be our standard. Let the Bible be our mirror, and let us see what the Bible says. For it is God who brought this to us, and it is God who knows the right way to do. You hear on the Facebook and you see on social media, they'll tell you all the principle, one thing or 20 things or the other one. Those things are useless if the scripture is not the foundation. Because it is in the Bible we see about marriage. It is in the Bible we see about love. It is in the Bible we see about everything. And don't forget, I have said, love is a sacrificial activity. Relationship is a need to be that is not optional. You need to relate to somebody, because I know in this life, if you relate to somebody, you know somebody, they know somebody who knows somebody and can solve your problem. Therefore, you cannot be alone. Let's give ourselves the way and let's make sure the Bible is our standard. And when you come to love, let us love one another. Let us be real. And when we do this, it will help us, and marriage shall be what it should be. Thank you very much. I don't want to go on. I can go on and then keep all of us to stay and we still talk about the issue of
amazing, amazing, powerful, powerful, educative, informative. What can I say? Thank you so much, Reverend Professor Akpabio, for sharing with us on the biblical of relationship, love, marriage, and family. Thank you so much. You've really, really enlightened us this morning, being our last day of this conference, or I mean, this masterclass. May masterclass, which is 31st of May. I really appreciate you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you also for all our participants, our learners, our leaders that are on the platform, both the Zoom, LinkedIn, and also Facebook. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. It's an amazing day, and we will continue to rejoice together and celebrate the goodness of God. I want to appreciate Dr. Samina Evelyn. Thank you for joining us. Ambassador Roland Johnson, thank you so much for joining us and for your powerful talk yesterday. Ambassador Comfort Freddy, thank you so much for joining us. Ambassador Desin, thank you so much for joining us. Ambassador Olutosin, thank you so much for joining us. Ambassador Isaiah, thank you so much for joining us. We are together. Ambassador Ismail Sarikaya, thank you so much for joining us, and many, many people that will be joining us very soon. Okay, now it is question time before we release Papa to do other things in the church or in the ministry. Question number 1. Let me first of all welcome Dr. Samina Evelyn to either comment or to ask question. Dr. Samina, you have any questions for Reverend Professor Akpabio?
Yeah. Thank you very much. And I appreciate the wonderful presentation. And my question is, how we can judge the true love in marriage and relationship? The true love. How we can judge that the partner who is in our marriage relationship, he is true and faithful with us.
Okay. You know, when we talk about love, and the greatest problem is the issue that people don't really understand when we talk about love. So how we can get the true love in marriage, especially when marriage, depending on the area that we are living, is it Nigeria, UK, USA, India, or Philippines, wherever you are, the issue is still one. Number one is a deciding to love and to maintain love. Like when I said the biblical principle for relationship is do unto others you would others to do to you. But you know, love cannot be made except we come to a level where we receive the one who is love himself. The Bible says God is love. And until we have God in our life, He will not teach us how to love. So when we have love within us, He will now teach us how to love. And it is that can make it. When you want to love, as I said before, that when I ask a question, is there anything in marriage that is different from what you are doing? When we come to that level, we see that you must be ready to let go certain things. As we talk about biblical principles of love in that First Corinthians 13, love endureth all things, believeth all things, hopeth all things, it's not puff up, it's not this, that. It takes determination to love one another. It takes determination to stay in marriage in love. And when people are not determined to do it, you hear some people say, I will not tolerate to, I'm not the, I don't used to. You must use to what you have not been used to, so that love can be. So in such a case, number one, you must have God in you, because the God that you have in you is now going to teach you how to love and will encourage you. And number two, you must determine to take another person as yourself. And when you are ready to take the other person, even if it's a husband and wife, there are some husbands that have not accepted their wife to be their partner. There are some wives that have not accepted their husband. They still see another person over there, that person is better than what they are, and they cannot love. Because what you have not allowed to be around you, you cannot make it. And number three is to go into biblical principles, to go beyond love being sentiment, love being arousal, love being only for sex, and love being for that. When we allow the basis of the scripture to be our portion, you say the scripture alone will encourage us and strengthen us to love. And finally, it is when we decide to practicalize love, and we do the loving, and we show the people this is how to make it. Somebody who did not want, okay, let me say like example, you didn't want to eat. Your husband is there in the house, the food is there, and then you say, I don't have appetite to eat. He can provoke you to eat by going to bring the food and trying to do nothing on you, and so yeah, begin to eat, and then you see he can, that's what the Bible says, provoke one another to love and to good works. So you can love by provoking others to love and to good works. When we do this, we see that love shall be real and things will go on the way it ought to be in our marriage. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Is that okay?
Is that okay?
Yes.
Wonderful.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Okay, thank you, sir, for answering that question. Thank you so much. Ambassador Roland Johnson, do you have any question? Ambassador Roland Johnson, do you have any questions for Papa?
Yes, I have a question.
In the areas of love, marriage, and relationship. Okay, answer your,
Yes,
ask your question.
let me just ask a question. Yes, I want to know, how do we address or how do we resolve issues where we feel like either love or we feel like respect is lacking in our marriage? How do we resolve such an issue?
Okay. Now, looking at the issue of fair expectations, what you thought this woman would be or what you thought this man would be is not coming to be. That is when you begin to lay a foundation of training. You know, God have not finished with us yet. Even in our life, in our salvational experience, though we are in Christ, we still have lapses and loopholes. So what is to be done is, number one, determine to make it up. Determine to adjust. Determine when you have understood. Though, as you have said, the first thing is understand the reality. What is actually lacking in that person? What is actually needed to be done? When you understand the reality of the situation, then determine to solve it. When you determine to solve it and put effort to solve it, there are two things that we can talk about: prayers and counseling. Counseling in the sense of a marriage counselor. Some people say, don't tell your problem to a third partner. A marriage counselor is not a third partner, but rather a marriage counselor is a person that can give you options. A marriage counselor is not a decision maker. He only gives options, and then the person can decide to do that. So you can decide to make it when you understand the problem, and when you decide to take care of it, and then you seek for additional help. Number one, in prayers to God, because it's God alone who can change humanity. It's God alone who can make a rotten man to become a good person. And so if God can take the work to do, it's okay. And the other aspect is at least the psychological understanding of people is also important. Because like one of the books I have written, Knowing the Man, you can live with all types of the 25 types of people on earth without troubling yourself. When you understand the man, that's what Jesus succeeded with. The Bible said Jesus did not commit himself to men because he knew all men. When you know man and what man can do, you'll not be bothered. So if you want to determine to make sure you make a difference, understand the situation, know what you can do, seek the help of God, and look for assistance from those who know better. That will really help to work. And if symptom persists after 2 days, as you say in Nigeria, consult the physician. Then you can look for somebody who can say, this is what could be done. That's why we are here together to bring that advice. Because we know that many people don't know how to manage human. Many people don't know how to manage situation. Many people don't know how to manage themselves. And when these three things is gone, you see, we struggle to survive and not. But I'm trusting when we put some of these things into practice, it will work and it help us to go on. Thank God for the Queen who is bringing us to come and hear some of this in order to add to the knowledge we had before. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, sir, for answering the question. And Ambassador Roland, are you satisfied with that question?
Yes, I'm satisfied. Thank you so much.
Yeah, do you have any other question before we move to another person?
Maybe it will come later.
Okay, come later. Okay. Now, I have one question, sir, on the platform. I believe the person could not open their camera or to speak, but I will also send you the question. My question is, what should be done in a marriage that is broken down due to lack of love? That's one question. Shall I continue another question, or can I read all the questions? Okay, so that is one question. The second question, how can the wife rebuild the love together with a man that has left her with 5 children for more than 8 years? That's one second question, which is very powerful question. In fact, that question is really, really very important. And the last question, now the children are asking questions. I think it's part of the second question. Can I repeat it again, or are you okay with that?
Okay, repeat it.
My question is, and this question is for Ambassador Comfort Freddy. You are welcome back. My question is, what should be done in a marriage that is broken down due to lack of love? That's one question. The second question is, how can the wife rebuild the love together with a man that has left her with 5 children for more than 8 years, and now the children are asking questions? Wow,
Okay.
wow, wow. Very,
Thank
very
God.
important.
Thank God these questions are useful in order to help us, and I will encourage us that we listen. In marriage, how do we repay love that have that's because of lack of love? How could such a marriage be brought back again? There are 4 things to do. Number 1, was love the basis of marriage? Because there are some people who comes into marriage not on the basis of loving one another. It might come on the basis of what they saw, the fanciful things of this life, which passed away. The good, the better body of the woman, the physiological perspective of the woman. Oh, she was nice, she was good, she was okay, she was blossoming. Or it might be the man, or he had money and he had all that thing, and so he goes on like that. But when you come to the house and each person open up himself or herself, you come to see that what you were looking at is completely off. At that time, the marital consent, the love is dying away completely. How do we repair that? So you need to look at, how did you come into marriage? Was it the basis of love? Because any marriage that is not on the basis of love will fade away. Because love is only the greatest thing that keep and sustain. You see, when we look at the book of John chapter 3, verse 16, the Bible says, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son. It was love that made God to give his only begotten son. It was love that made God to make provision for the danger that is going to come, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. And so when love is not the basis of family, when love is not the basis of marriage, there can be a problem. So when you know how marriage started, if actually you started in love, and at a point the love is not going on again, there is a question to ask, why?
Why? Please bear with us. It's answering the question. It's just the connection, but I believe that
That you are seeing the other person, you want a change. Because if you marry, the issue of divorce, the issue of separation does not come with God, because God don't see that.
I think
Paul
we've
is
missed.
asking.
I think we've missed something, sir. We were saying why. That's where we got it. Others connection failed. So the second one, your beginning of it, we didn't hear.
Okay, that what I'm saying is, why has the marriage come to that level?
Okay.
Have there been any contribution done by the children or by the in-law or by the wife or the husband that brought this in? Then when you can answer the why, you can trace to know the points. Because any sickness that you don't know the beginning, you will not be able to cure. Now that you've understood how you started, now you have understood why it happened. And now is the third one. How can we make it good again? Because I still believe that a union of many years can still be built again. Look at the story of this prophet in the Bible, where God have announced that no prophet should marry an harlot. But God decided to make him to go and marry an harlot. That was for a purpose, to teach us that God's love can cover all things. And when he married the harlot, they came and they had 3 children, and the woman had to go back again to harlotry. And God told him, oh yeah, go back to her and bring her to show that I can love Israel. So what you can do is, what sacrifice can we do now? It may take body, it may take decision, it may take humbling yourself to nothing. It may take you ignoring whatever is happening just to make sure you bring back the person. There's nobody who is Satan. It's only when we give ourselves to the devil can use. Anybody can change at any time when they see genuineness. So when you have considered these three things, you ask, how do I start again? Number one, you must be selfless. Don't count on your bitterness. Don't count that it's going to favor the man. Don't count because love was not there. Now you begin to look at what is genuine love. How can we make love work? I've talked about love, I've written about love, I've talked about love in many perspectives. There can still be a rekindling of love. There can still be a rekindling of relationship. So when you begin, you take the blame. You feel you did not do well, even when you know you were right. One thing about man still have that ego within him. Let him come and bow down. Let him come and let her come and then tell me I'm sorry. If you are a woman, you can begin in that anger. What you are doing is not for anything but because of your children and because of the relationship. Because whenever you are no more in a man's house, people look at you differently. So there must be an aspect that we are touched in order to see how we can do. So when you begin, you can become stupid, do certain things that should not be done, forget about shame, forget about everything, consult wherever you should consult. But and if you try all what you can, and the man is not still wanting to come, then you can stop doing anything. And then you can ask the queen to call some of us to tell you what next to do. But for this time, love can still be rekindled. Every broken word can still be made again. Then coming to a point of rebuilding the love. For a man who has stayed and gotten about 5 children or more children for 8 years, they have gone, and then to go back again, number one, you should be ready to take the shame and the blame. People will talk to you. Why go back again? Why go back again? One thing I always say is we should allow ourselves to flow in the will of God. If God decides that you should marry a man or marry a woman, and then God is at hand in that marriage, no matter what happened, he will still see you through. Check many people in the Bible. Some of their wives were not okay. It's only Samson who had the problem. The parents told him, go and marry Wishima. He said, no, I want to marry the one I love. And when he told the secret of the heart, those things happen. So you can still rekindle. There are about 14 principles of rekindling marriage that have been cooled down. Take, for instance, you are cooking the fire, or if you are cooking with firewood, or even with stove. If you see the gas is going down, or the kerosene is not there, or the flame is dying down, what you need to do is to put more kerosene, to add more fire, to add more flame, to add more gas, which means there are certain things you can do to rekindle the love. People will talk against you. Your children may say forget. Your body may say forget. Your parents may say forget. But what you know is what God has joined together should not be put asunder. And if to say that because of your action, this man comes back, you take the credit. Heaven will rejoice over you because you've done what Napoleon could have not done, according to some grammar we normally say. So it behoves us that no matter the years, I have seen a marriage that had been broken for 21 years and they still came back again together because they understood that they were one and they also that they made the mistake. And they also that they can correct their ways. And when they came back, it was more genuine and real than what it was before. Sometimes God allows something to happen to test humanity and to see what it can do. So marriage is not a divorcing thing. The Bible says, don't you know that it might be that the man you are running away from, the woman that's running away from you, was kept by God to help you survive? That is the issue. So if we can make it, we can still go back. Then we forget about the rules and the law and the culture and the custom. Because the custom will tell you, don't go back again. It's many years now. He has not done this. Sometimes when they go to court and then they say we dissolve the marriage, I've told all the judges and all the lawyers, nobody can break marriage. Marriage is, they didn't know how it started. Marriage is of God. And if marriage is of God, God is the one that can keep things going. And if you have loved this person for all that while, and you have shared life together, shared blood to share together, share opinion together, share fellowship together, why break? Always seek a way of returning back. Don't believe what others who say, if the unbelieving depart, let him depart. Was he an unbeliever then? There are some who are Christians, and when they depart, they quote that portion. Unbelieving departing is this person was not born again. You were not born again. You came to marry one another, and along the line, one of them repents, and the other one say, I can't be with you. He said, if you want to go, let him go. Not when two people are saying they are born again, they are Christians, they come to marry, and then they say we divorce one another. That's not the scripture. As we do this, we say it takes sacrifice, it takes patience, it takes humility, it takes readiness to take the shame and to carry the blame in order to restore a broken marriage to what it ought to be again. Wow. Our broken relationship in the world, God still tolerates us no matter the years and can still take us back to himself. Thank you very much.
Wow, wow, wow. Interesting question and interesting answer. Wow, wow. Thank you so much, sir. Questions are still flooding in. I don't know how long you can stay. I have one question based on the answer you just gave, sir. I have a question. So imagine, supposing or, based on the question, the answers that you just gave now, what if violence involved?
Okay.
That makes the separation or something like that. What is violence involved? How can you take that person back?
Okay, that is even the basis in Nigerian culture, and the court will tell you separation. They don't even talk about divorce. They always put the word separation, that they should separate if life is involved. Because if one person dies, the marriage will not go on again. Now, it takes God to sustain marriage. It takes determination to sustain marriage. And always I tell people that marriage is more of a sacrifice than enjoyment. Because there are certain things the woman will come, all the things that she was doing, when it comes to the marital home, things are not the way it should be. If actually it happened because it happened like that, and the people will say, after all, they told you don't go and you still go, now you don't die, and now you don't do this. As a case that happened over here, and the husband had been treating the woman bad, and the woman had been pronounced and all that, and then the man will be, and the woman was still enduring until the time that he had to kill the woman. And so people were talking, why didn't the woman go out? Why didn't the woman go out? I tell them, it must have been because of love, because of the interest of the children, because of a lot of things. But one thing is sure, marriage counselors can actually help us in this direction. And if we see that it has come to an aspect of taking life, and life is involved, caution should be used. Prayers should be involved. Counselors should be brought in. They will be able to look with you. You are not to look on your own eye whether that thing is going to stand, because there are many who cannot tolerate nonsense. They say, I'm not there to tolerate nonsense. I go my way. If violence is involved, fighting and killing may come in. They carry bottle and they carry a lot of things. I remember one day I was teaching in marriage seminar. A man told me, what you are saying, I don't know how I can reconcile. Because there was a day my wife did something to me. I carried machete, I kept in my bed, and I was waiting to slaughter her. But when I woke up, I started to almost kill her. Something tell me, why are you killing somebody who have given children to you? You know, there are certain things our people do in the night that you don't know. So when life is involved, consult a physician. Pray about it, and then be sure that the case is settled well before there is a coming back together. Because somebody can say, okay, I accept you, no problem, but the heart may not be there. And let it be a ministerial activity that is going on in order for the reconciliation to be made. So that each of them will see the reality of how God handled man, how the Bible says, and what true life is all about. When that it has come to that level, it can work. But if you are not so sure and certain about life, then you can stay like that separated until God can have another way out for you.
Wow, wow. Very good question. Very good answers. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that because I really need to clear up that one. I'm learning, you are canceling us now, and I'm learning deep. Because apart from counselor, many of us as well, people throw this kind of questions to us, and we want to make sure that we give them the right answer. So that is why I'm really appreciate you, sir, for really enlightening us on this area. I have another question on the platform from Ambassador Roland Johnson. Okay. Yes,
Okay.
he was the one that asked the very first question. This is the second question. How do we ensure we continue to grow together rather than apart?
Okay. You know, one thing about marriage is one fleshness. That's one of the things that I look at. When there is a one fleshness concept, then everything will work well. What do I mean by one fleshness? Where the man says that by the time you marry a woman, and they two shall be one. If you say the scripture did not say they two shall be one, he said they two shall be one flesh. There are still two people. I've told people over here again and again that 1 + 1 equals to 2. It's not equals to 1. But 1 + 1 can become 1 by adjustment. So when we have that concept in our mind, and they two shall become one flesh when they have adjusted themselves. It might be as a man, you come from a different background, the woman comes from a different background. It will not be easy to blend. You are still two people in the house. But what is important is that when there is adjustment and there is that one flesh concept, I am him, she is mine. And there will be a flowing together, knowing that we have come together and not to separate. I now open up. She now opens up. And when two of us are opening up, we come to a level we understand ourselves and begin to work with ourselves. But a situation I still see that I'm the man, I am the husband, she's the woman, she's the wife. I will still tell her the woman has this limitation. She will still have the idea that the man is always to lord and the woman is almost to submit, especially when we claim these two statements in the Bible: wife, submit to your husband; husband, love your wife. And somebody even preached that the Bible have not told the men, the women to love their husband. I say these are people who don't even understand the Bible. Because in 1 Timothy, the Bible says that we should teach the younger women that they should love their husband and love their children. Love is the key factor. So when it happens in a way that it comes to that situation, what could be done is a kind of, let me understand, because one of the key things about marriage is understanding. If I understand my wife, I understand why she does what he does. I understand and she understands me. There will not be that discrepancy or that disagreement. We now flow into what we may not have the same idea, but we can borrow from one's idea. We may not come to a settlement of this is what is happening. I agree with you in totality, but there may be sometimes we do a supposedly acceptance, and it will be well. It will work our way. So what he can do, or what we can do in that situation, is a state of coming to the one fleshness, remembering that the woman is still the woman with the character of a woman. The man is still a man with the character of a man. And there is an aspect of love and submission. When we begin to lose ourselves to one another and not building on, I'm a man, I should do as a man. The woman say, I'm a woman, I should do as a woman. Until that yoke is broken and that bond is loose, we will not see one another as a partner to move on. So it is possible to be one when we lose ourselves to one another. That's where I emphasize the one fleshness. And they two shall be one. One in opinion, one in thought, one in life, one in action, but not one in person, because the woman is still the woman. influenced by the environment he came from, educational background, a lot of things that comes on. The man is still a man, influenced by his background and other things, but we can mesh it together. And when we talk about one flesh and we come up to talk about measure, I mesh with the person. Look at times of politics. Two parties may be separate, but because they want to win, they mesh, they do measure. And the time they do measure, they succeed. So I feel that it can still be possible when certain things is looked down and then other things are promoted. So marriage can be what marriage ought to be. There is still a belief that the God who made marriage to stand can still make broken homes to come together and engineer the love in our hearts. Thank you very much.
Wow, very interesting questions and answers. Thank you so much. I believe that we've been satisfied. Ambassador Comfort Frederick said to you, sir, you are indeed a very good teacher. God
Thank you.
bless you. From
Thank
the
you.
Facebook, they said that agreement and contentment are key in any relationship, like you
That's
said,
good.
sir. And that is from Kenya. Great questions, and many other people are commenting. Right, we want to say thank you so much. Let's see if we have more questions before you go, sir.
Okay.
Is that the question? I have been a friend. Okay, there's another question, sir, from
Okay.
Ambassador James Dacey. I have been a friend with a girl for 3 years without the mindset to get married to her. But she later has asked me for marriage, and I've decided to officially introduce me to her family members. But now I have a girlfriend, that means another girlfriend, who are already planning to get married. In this case, what can I really do? I really need a response or advice.
That's a good thing. You know, you cannot hold two things in one hand. I will advise him. What I've seen is that the first girlfriend now is wanting him to marry her.
Mm.
And the second girlfriend now is actually what he wants to. But the issue is beginning from the first person. I know many times I tell some people it may not be a sinful thing for a woman to indicate interest in marriage. But one thing is that they must go for confirmation. Because when you check the scripture very well, you see the aspect of marriage. It is the man who should propose to marry a woman. It is not the woman who decides that this man should marry me. It is the duty of the man to begin to do the starting. Adam was the one in need of a wife. And he decided to open up, or God decided to give him the wife. So that first girlfriend that she said he wants to marry and wants everything to be done, and he is not the one who initiated. Women should not initiate marriage. They should actually give a foundational settlement for marriage. The other person also, who is the second one now, who has now come in and is now interested to marry, I would say to him, don't be over to opinion. Take a stand. None of these women are to make a decision for you. It is you yourself who will make a decision. Look at these two ones. Why did this person say want to marry you? And I've done everything. Why is this one also you are ready to marry, has done everything? Not everything that glitter is gold. That is where you need to open up to a marriage counselor or to God to tell us what is in his heart. Because it is you who decides. Your opinion is what is important. If the other one that you see that you did not want to marry, if the love is not there, close the chapter. Even this one that is coming, if you see that there is a sentiment along the line, be very careful. 3 things to watch. Number 1, which among them get money pass? Because sometimes money blinds. Number 2, which among them is beautiful and presentable? Which this thing may be a problem. This one is presentable, the other one is not presentable. This one has money, the other one doesn't have money. And the third one is, what is the foundation of this one, academically, physically, and otherwise? When you allow those three things to influence you in marriage, you are done for. You miss all, and you may pick a devil instead of seeing a saint. So sit down. When you know all these things, you come and sit down. Lord, which one should be? Let marriage decision be that of you and not influenced by any outside thing. Because when you take a decision to marry a woman, like two of them, the other one is a girlfriend, the other one is a girlfriend. When all the thing is girlfriend, 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 they will friend you and fry you away.
Wow.
So you can only decide and say, okay, this is where I will stand. This one I've decided to marry. It might be you were not able to speak, but she speak before you. But one thing I know, God reveals a man to a woman or a woman to a man to marry. But God
This is becoming great, tougher and hotter. I believe we are all enjoying this teaching. I'm glad that every one of you are here to learn from these amazing question and answers on marriage. This is good. This is good. I know the connection is disturbing, and Reverend Professor Akpabio is just rounding up. But I believe that he will be able to conclude on this answer that we've thrown to him. I believe so. If not, let me assume that the person that answered that asked that question is being satisfied with that question and with that answer. Okay, yes. Reverend Professor Akpabio is just rejoining, and he will continue with that. Yes, sir.
Sorry, it seems it went off.
Yes.
So that is what I would say, that you need to really look at which one is convincing, which one is buying him, and which one is endeared to him. And one thing about the signal is, when the foundation is based on love and God, it will work. But when the foundation is based on materialism and beauty, beauty can fade away at any time.
And that is very powerful. That is the word, the key words. And just to sorry, sir, but just to add, because I know you are also our pastor and our man of God, just to add to what Papa have said, prayer. If you are a Christian, you need to pray, because I believe God is not a God of confusion, and God can also direct you. So also pray along with it. Thank you, sir. I don't know if you still have enough time. I know we've really spent your time today wisely and
Today is for
quality.
you. If there is no question, they can ask. If there is no question, they can ask.
Okay. There's another question from I think I saw. Yeah, Ambassador Roland is saying, thank you so much, sir, for the powerful answer you gave him. The next question, Ambassador Lukman Nuruddin Adeniyi. Question, what are the things that we always overlook, but which can spoil marriages and relationships?
Okay, that is important and good. What are the things we easily ignore and overlook, and then which are very important? You know, one thing, when marriage comes in, we overlook a lot of things. Number one, if you're a man and you forget the dignity of a woman, it will bring problem. Forgetting the dignity of the woman, or you are a woman, you forget the dignity of your husband, there will be problem. What do I mean by that? Do you take your wife just as a woman should be, or we still look down? The mentality we have from our parents that women are not useful, women are this, women are that. When those mentalities still begin to go on, and we forget that this person in my house is an entity, is someone that can be what's supposed to be, you will see that it's going to bring problem. Or when you as a woman forget the dignity of the man, The man, you take the man as just any other man, and you forget this a husband you are marrying. That is going to bring problem. Number two, forgetting the feelings. After talking about the dignity, the feelings, how do your wife feel over what you are doing? How does your husband feel over what you are doing? Our feelings, when we forget the feelings of one another, and we may not even mind and do anything as if that person is not a human being, there's going to be a problem. Number one, or number three, the right of survival. If you overlook the right of survival or the right of being, as at least as a man, there are certain rights he has in the family. As a woman, there are certain rights she has in the family. If you don't allow that right to be exercised, look at a situation when a man has a wife, but the mother is still coming to scoop a soup from the pot. The mother is still controlling the child. You will see that that woman will not be happy. You are a woman and you are living in a house that you can decide not minding your husband. You can say, when you forget each other's right, then that is going to be a problem. Number four is ignoring the spiritual states of individual. No, there's something that is important. Spirituality comes into marriage, even though it is almost overlooked. Who prays in the house? Who lives in the house? Who gives biblical instruction? Who leads others to church? When all these things are forgotten and looked at as if it's nothing, there will be a problem. We talk about children's care. There are many times that the man is not interested about the home, and the woman will be caring for the children, caring for the children, caring for the children. The man doesn't only want to come, where is my food? And when the food is on, let's go to bed. When you have stopped to do your duty and you overlook the care of the children or the care of your wife or the care of your husband, there is bound to be problem. And the next one is when you see somebody outside better than your partner. That's another issue. And you can do what we call comparing. After all, the other woman is better than you in the house. Were you there? Do you do the thing that the other husband does? So that comparison can also be an aspect we overlook, and then we just talk carelessly. Are you? One thing about women hate you comparing them with others. Even when they don't know how to cook, and you say that the other person cooked more than her, she will be a problem. Therefore, there are a lot of things that we overlook and then we don't see, like even physical beauty, like even the aspect of health. If you overlook all those things, those small things, the Bible says in Songs of Solomon chapter 2, take away the little foxes that eat our land, because our land is tender. Let's look at every small thing that we may try to overlook. Greetings, wake up and greet one another, and then how are you or what are you? Not only sex alone, but the other aspect is if you forsake even and overlook the sexual relationship, you can come to problem. Because we say, after all, he's a man of God. He's a man. He doesn't worry. After all, he have been seen. He doesn't. He marry. He worry. That's what the Bible said in Ecclesiastes 9:9. Enjoy your wife. Enjoy your husband. Cherish one another. Let us not say we don't old. To some of us who are older in age and older in marriage, don't say I am old. Take your oldness away. Marriage make you to be refreshed every day. Remember all the things that are supposed to be done. Sexual relationship, personal care, involvement, concern, regard, and every other thing that will make it. And please remember, don't try to challenge your in-laws' position and personality before their children. When you overlook that and begin to mention to your wife, after all, this is what your father is. After all, this is what your mother is. You are copying the picture. You are creating fire in your family. Let's regard one another and keep it on. As we do this, we say our marriage shall go well, and other things are there which we cannot. Even the Bible says all the things that Jesus did, he was not able to contain in the Bible, for the whole world could not contain. With that, I feel we can make up our marriage and then marriage can go on very well.
Oh, wow, 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 wow. I really, we still have other speakers, but questions keep flooding in, and I think it's because this is very, very important for everyone. Let me get, okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to read another, and that will be the last questions for today, please.
Okay.
But because Reverend Father needs to go and minister in the church, teach in the other places, and he's been with us since 10 o'clock. So please, I know today is the last day of this conference. Maybe that is also why these questions are flooding in. But
No problem.
I will ask this question. If you still have, that doesn't mean you can't ask your question. If you still have more questions, please send it to us at yyci.academic@gmail.com, and Papa will be able to answer all your questions. We might even arrange maybe 1 or 2 days for him, so that he will just come and answer some, not all of your questions, but some of your questions. But please, for today, I will just read, is that the questions actually? Any kind of foods can be eaten, but some foods are better than others, just as, I think it's just a statement, not a question. So, I think we've done justice to all at the moment. Yeah, because the one that I think is a question is just a comment, sir. So I can read the comment. Any kinds of food can be eaten, but some food are better than others. Just as the tongue can distinguish different flavors of meat, so a sharp mind can detect lies. A woman has to take any, a woman has to take any, a woman has to take any no as her husband. I don't see that one, as her husband, but it is the man that must choose his wife carefully. Thank you so much. Okay, it's recapping on what you've said. So
Yes.
which is good. It's recapping what you said, so that he just want to clarify what he heard, so that he will know what to do. So on this note, sir, we want to say thank you so much for almost 2 hours of your teaching and question and answers. We really appreciate your time, even being with us since the beginning of this masterclass. We want to say thank you, sir, as our patron, even as our advisory board member. You see, we didn't choose wrongly when we when we appointed you as our patron, and also our advisory board member, and also my own papa and mentor. I believe that we've done right thing in choosing that. So I want to say thank you, sir, Reverend Professor Anefiok Akpabio from Calabar, Nigeria. If you want to also get in touch with him direct and you don't know how to, please contact us as well on yyci.academic@gmail.com, because like I said from his profile, is a counselor, is a psychologist, is a pastor, is everything. So you might want to get more answers than what we've listened to here, or you still want to get closer to him to be able to mentor you or to say other things. He has written so many books as well. So please contact us on yyci.academic@gmail.com, and we can arrange that one for you to contact him direct. Thank you once again, sir, Reverend Professor Akpabio. We really appreciate you, sir. Thank you. Okay.